Claire with Clairvoyant Psychic Medium on Village Witch Ramblings. And this is Grace Chronicles. I think that this one's going to be the third or the fourth one. I don't know, because I might have another one that comes out before this. But anyways, introduce yourself. We have a guest.
My name's Amanda. I went to Grace with Claire 100 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 21.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Ew, it's so
It was a
gross.
long time ago. It was a different lifetime.
It literally was. Yes,
Literally, it was a
100%.
different lifetime.
So, how I am starting this is I guess I want to just start saying, because I wanted to say this to begin with, like my first impression of you, I was terrified of you.
Do you know why that's so weird to me? Is because I was the most insecure, terrified, sad, depressed little girl
Oh,
ever that went there and felt like
oh,
I didn't have a friend in the world. So that is so funny to hear you say that.
I felt like you were like one of the popular mean girls kind of feel. And I
Oh, I'm so
remember you
sorry.
being very loud. So
Oh, I
I
feel
was just
nothing.
like, I can't, like, and maybe it was the loudness. And now that I'm starting to
Yeah.
kind of like figure it out, and maybe it was a trigger, but looking at your birth chart, you're a Scorpio rising. So what that means is how you come off to the world is Scorpio. Scorpio's a little could be a little, oh, that's not normal. Ooh, that's a little weird, or oh, that's dark and mysterious. Oh, what's behind her? Like, definitely different, right?
That
So,
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
and I have a Taurus rising, which is the literal opposite of you. So, so being fully faced with that, I was like, like,
Yeah.
so that makes sense now why I see, like, seeing your birth chart. And like, yeah, you have very, because I have the other Scorpio placements as you, the same as you as well. Like, we have Saturn and we have Pluto, which just basically means we've grown up with a lot of trauma.
You say that again.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that was just what I wanted to kind of like first start it like saying, because I know you weren't there for a long time, and um I know you were treated like complete crap, and
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
You know, it's so funny. When I was listening to your podcast last week when you sent me that one, so many things that I hadn't thought about. I was like, oh my God, this and this and this, and oh my God, fuck this and this. Like
Yeah.
it was like I almost feel like, did you watch the show Lost?
Yeah.
I almost feel like we went like into the what was that what was that thing called? The
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? That
Yes.
little thing underground?
Yes.
Hatch.
Okay, yeah.
I almost feel like we, went into the hatch.
Right. And that's
It's
why,
crazy.
and I think that that's happening. Well, so you just being a Scorpio rising in general, you are literally on the opposite side of me, and you're dissecting it from well, it would be well, let me just look. Hang on. Hang on, I'm going to be nerdy for a second.
No, you're good, you're
Um
good.
so it's like the third house. So it would be communication, talking about it. And I'm
Mhm.
just like exploring it. So
Yeah.
that's
I'm
fun.
very much a verbal processor, very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Well, you have an Aquarius moon. So, your moon is your emotions, and that's how like you relate to your emotions, and with having an air in your moon, it has to come out of your mouth for you to even know what you're feeling. So,
That's 1000% true.
yeah.
I was just telling last night my friend, I'm like, I literally respond to all of life through like words and sound and noise, like
Yep.
every aspect of life all the time.
Same. Same. What led you to Grace?
Oh boy. Okay, so we just talked about like I had a ton of trauma. Okay, like I came from like tons of trauma. And I was in high school, like I was just not okay. Like so not okay. And my mom really pushed me to go there. And I also felt like if I go, this was my thought, like if I go hang out with a bunch of homeschoolers, like I'll be fine, like I'll become one with the homeschoolers. Truly.
I
That's what
didn't
I felt.
know. I had no idea that there was gonna be homeschoolers there.
Are
So
you
just
fucking kidding me?
no, I had no fucking clue. Like, oh, that's so funny. Just
Oh,
the
girl.
different perspectives. Okay.
That is so funny. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I ended up there. Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in church?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like literally, I was raised in like the epitome of like right-wing Christian conservative Republican family. Like, I mean, we went to Sunday school and big church on Sundays.
Wasn't
And
it the Berean or whatever?
I grew up it was called First Evangelical Free when I grew up there.
Okay.
Went to youth groups, all the missions trips, all the lock-ins, all the everything. Like
Like
it was like
all your whole entire childhood.
everything, like all
Wow.
the way through high school.
Okay.
And it was very like I was indoctrinated into shit that we just talked about earlier.
Mhm.
And some of that is still really hard to shake. Like,
What do you mean?
yeah. But anyways, I'll
No,
say
what do you
this as kind of like a disclaimer at the beginning. Like, I don't ever identify as Christian because I think Christians are mostly really shitty. But like I love Jesus. Like I love
Mm,
Jesus so much. Um, but so anyways, that's a whole nother story.
same. It's a long fucking story,
It's a
but
long
same.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So growing up, so you knew what you were getting into. Did you know that Grace was Mennonite or based on
I didn't.
Mennonite?
I just knew that right now.
Right now, me saying this?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I
Those are
know.
people that like go around in like covered wagons and shit, right? I mean, really though, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Shit.
I know. I've been going through the handbook lately. Remember the fucking handbook?
Girl. There's when I was just looking at it on the Wikipedia last night, there are so many things that I had forgotten. And then
Okay.
as soon as I was reading them, I was like, oh yeah, I had lots of talks with RAs
Mhm.
and professors and directors about like, why are you watching this channel on television? Why are you doing this? Why you know that's not allowed? And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I remember thinking though back like me and you were the only ones that I don't even know how to well, we weren't the only ones, but we bucked the system and
yeah.
I knew you were having a hard time because of it. And
Mhm.
did you know that with me? Like what was
No.
your view of me, I guess?
I was, like, intimidated by you,
Oh,
honestly. I was like,
well, that's
"This
the
girl's,
Taurus
like,
rising
so
thing.
cool and, like, confident, and I
Oh,
am not,
oh
like,
God, I
at
was
all."
not. Nope, I did not know myself.
Yeah, isn't it funny our perceptions of people are, like, so off?
Yeah. But there's that other rising thing too. Like I was a Taurus rising, which Taurus energy comes off as stable, confident, a bull, like I got my shit together, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so you see the world as a Scorpio rising. You see the rest of the world as Tauruses. Like, oh, everybody has their shit together and I'm a fucking
Oh
mess.
my god, that's so fucking accurate. Holy shit. I
But
already
yeah,
know we're gonna need to continue talking more after this podcast. Like, whether it's on a podcast or off, like, we're gonna need to continue
just
talking.
so you guys know, I told her I was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a little bit of a reading," and she was like, "No." And then I explained, like, I'm just gonna use astrology. Like, I can't not. It's just in my head. And now she just said that. So, ha ha,
Yeah.
skeptics, bitches.
Yeah.
You went to Grace because you thought in your head these weirdo fucking sheltered people are going to at least calm me down a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, or just, like, um yeah, calm me down and just, like,
Wow.
help fix I think what I really thought is they would, like, help fix me.
Yeah, make them more like them.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I went in there 100% obviously opposite of that. I went in
Yeah,
there
yeah.
being like, "I'm free!" And it was
Yeah, I remember
free.
I didn't know all this shit that, like, you were homeless and all that. I had no idea until I
Mhm.
heard that, like, a week
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, what do you wanna start talking about first? Like
Okay, so my welcome week did not start off well.
okay.
I Do you remember that we went to the zoo?
Oh, I didn't go. It was like groups. I remember somebody went to the zoo, yes.
Okay, so
A
I told
group?
everybody, I have been terrified of the zoo forever, like, years and years and years and years. And they were like my roommate especially, and, like, Caleb and Lacey were like, "You gotta come, you gotta come." And I was
Mhm.
like, "You don't understand, like, I'm
I
not good
feel
at
like
the
I
zoo."
do remember this. Maybe I was
And
there.
I went with them against better judgment, and I was escorted out by paramedics wearing a fucking oxygen mask
Nope, I
because
wasn't
I,
there.
like, literally lost my fucking mind. And they were all like, "Oh, shit." I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking told you."
Oh, you
So
had
it
like a
didn't start
panic
well.
attack.
I know, take my anxiety from a 6 to, like, a 92. So that's how I went in. I was just, like,
Oh.
raw dogging this experience at Grace. Like,
You had no medicine and you didn't know that
no,
you had
nothing,
anxiety, you didn't know
nothing.
any of that. Same. I went into Grace, I was 100% raw dogging it as well, and I didn't know I was an empath. And I have so many fucking stories about that too, which is
Oh, I'm sure.
crazy. But, um, but yeah, okay. Um, oh, that's amazing. Not amazing, but no, I remember
Yeah,
hearing
no, yeah.
about that. I remember hearing about it. Um, Oh my god, that's so terrible. So what did the, like, paramedics do? Did they just say what did they say?
They just, like, brought me out of the zoo, um, and I think Caleb actually might have been with me and came out with me and, like, sat there with me like, "Dude, holy shit." And I'm like, "I fucking told you." Like, I can't, and I haven't been to the zoo since. Like,
Oh my
I can't go.
god.
Yeah, I can't go. It scares me to death.
Is
Like,
there
I watched a video the other day of an animal at the zoo, and literally, like, all the hair on my body stood up. I was, like, so
Oh,
fucking nervous and anxious.
girl. Okay. So yeah, 100% just knowing that you had anxiety at Grace, that was not welcome. Like, wow.
No, no, no.
Whoa. So many things. I have to just say this really quick. Okay, because you were on 3. What hall were you on?
I don't even remember.
I think it was 3. And your roommate was Renee?
Yes.
Okay.
And I can't believe you remember that. Oh my god.
No, because
I
Caleb and I were somebody and I were just talking because I said out of nowhere, I was like, "Why do I have a memory of being in a mansion behind a Target?" And there was like a
That's Renee's house.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally Renee's house. And
Oh
it's
my
funny
god.
because I wanted to, like, cling to her, like,
Yeah,
"Please be my person and,
yeah,
like, help me," and she was like, "No,
yeah.
I'm not interested in that."
Oh my god. So same experience as me.
Yeah.
Fuck. And it's so weird how also and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "It's because of me." But no, it's because of the energy that we all kind of had together. We all ended up fucking weird after
Yeah,
Grace.
yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure.
Like, so
Yeah.
many of us went through so like, oh, there was a drug phase. Oh, there was a little gay phase. There was a but like, there was a divorce.
Yep.
Well, okay, let's just first say, how long were you at Grace?
I was only there for the first semester. Like, okay, so, like, a brief just, like, rundown of what occurred. Like I said, was not okay. Like, I had untreated bipolar 1,
Oh,
PTSD, and, like, severe anxiety. It was completely untreated, okay?
wow.
Like, no medication, nothing. No therapy, whatever. So when I got there, I was, like, showed up on the scene, like, fucked.
Showed up on the scene.
Like, totally fucked.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you know this or not, but, like, I started cutting while I was at
Oh,
Grace.
I feel like I think I do because that must have been why I was so big into to write Love on Her Arms. You were the only person I knew that did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I had never done that until I went to Grace, and I started cutting at Grace. And I
Whoa.
remember Renee came home when I was in her dorm room, like, cutting the shit, I mean, just, like, deep, pretty deep cuts, like
On your
blood just like
arms.
running like this. Yeah.
Okay.
And Renee came in one night and she was like, "Oh my God, Amanda." She was like, "What is going on?" And I'm just like sobbing hysterically. And she's like cleaning up my arms and putting band-aids on me and shit.
Aw.
And I wore long sleeves for like weeks because of that, you know?
I feel like
Um,
right now I have a memory of you telling me about that. Like, we
I don't
might
know.
have been, like, sitting somewhere or whatever, but, you must have, like I have a memory of you, like, lifting up your
Interesting.
hmm,
Because I think the thing is, like I said before, I knew I needed like help, you know, when I went there. And I was thinking, this is Grace University, like they'll offer some grace and like
yeah,
help me, you know, and whatever.
I'll be safe
Um,
here. Mm.
yeah, yeah. And so I started off strong going to class and going to chapel, and then slowly was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't think I need that. And I was like, giving Renee my badge to badge me in at
Yeah.
chapel until they found out she was doing that. And then she got in trouble and I got in trouble. And I was like, well, I'm still
Mhm.
not going. So I literally, I don't know if you remember this, but I literally like laid in my dorm room almost 24/7 playing Tetris on my computer. Like, and I would get up occasionally and go outside to this like street that ran behind the school and like sit on the curb and smoke cigarettes. I eventually was like, fuck this. And I started smoking cigarettes in my dorm room. Do you remember that?
No.
Yes. I opened the window. I'm like, I give zero fucks, like zero fucks. And I started smoking cigarettes in my dorm room. And the the RA was right next door to us. And she was like knocking on my door. I was done smoking by this time. She was knocking on my door and she was like, "Do you smell anything burning?" I was like, mm-mm. Like, no, I was like, maybe somebody has a candle or something going. I don't know. I'm like, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
which was illegal. We couldn't have candles.
Yeah, right, right. And so they never, well, I think after I left, Caleb told me people found out it was me. But
Oh,
while I was there, like nobody said to
hilarious.
me, "We know you're smoking in your dorm room." Um, but like because I wasn't going to chapel, two things about that. One, I had like $700+ worth of chapel fines to pay when I left. And then
I
I
don't remember
also,
that you got fined for not going.
oh yeah, because remember the first time you get like I think 4 or 5 times to miss it, and then after that it's $5 for the next one, $10, $20, $40, $80. Yeah, every time you miss. So I had like chapel fines up the ass when I left there.
Jesus.
Okay. So the other thing is it was like a red flag to them that I wasn't going. So I had to go meet with, I don't remember who it was, somebody. So whoever it was, said to me, like, this is not acceptable. Like, we don't allow this type of behavior. You need to get to chapel. You need to go to classes. Um, and you have to join this Bible study. They made me join this like small group, but it wasn't people from Grace. It was
What?
like people from some church in the community that lived close to Grace. And they made me go to this. And I remember
Wait.
the first,
Yeah, who was it?
I don't even remember.
Oh
I've
my
like
god.
blocked so much of this out. So I went to this Bible study, and for the first time I went, I think I kind of alluded to the fact that I was not okay. And everybody was like, shh. I'm like, oh,
We
I
don't
thought
we
that's
don't
why I was here.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't talk about that
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess not.
That's not a part of this.
Yeah. So, um, basically, and I was like drinking in my dorm room. Like I was
I
just
do
not okay.
remember that. I remember you drinking because at that time in my life, like I had drank like in my teen years or whatever, but at Grace, I just remember being like, why is she doing that? I was so
It was not
confused.
okay.
Yeah.
I was not okay. Clearly not okay. A
Yeah.
private Bible college and I'm drinking in my dorm room, like clearly not okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
so finally, oh, also, this is crazy. I wonder if you were in this class with me, but I was in this class that an English class. And like the first assignment of the class, we had to write a paper on like an influential person. Okay. So everybody's writing on like the Apostle Paul, Jesus Christ, like all this shit. I wrote my paper on Freddie Mercury. Okay. And they were like, this is unacceptable. This person is gay. He had a substance use issue. Like, we're not accepting this paper. And I'm like, so after all of that, I was like, this is not the jam. Like, this is not the vibe I'm looking for. So I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I don't like it here. I'm not, she was like, over my dead body, are you coming home from that school? And because it was like her living her dream vicariously through me. Okay.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
Um, and this is something that I think, whatever, we can edit it out if we need to, blah, 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 blah. How was Grace funded for you?
My parents paid for it.
Okay. So they paid for
However,
everything, or they had loans, or what?
okay, so that's what I was gonna say. However, my grandfather left money for all of us to go to school,
Okay.
and that's the money they used to pay for me to go.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Okay.
like, I didn't pay a dime for it.
Oh, she said over my dead body. So that was like week 1.
It was a couple weeks in, it was a
Okay.
couple weeks, and then with all after all these things transpired that I told you about, I met with, like, the dean, like,
Mhm.
of the whole university,
Okay.
and he was, like, bringing the hammer down, like, "This needs to change immediately, like, this is not a good look for our school, we don't appreciate your behavior," like, on and on, okay? Nothing changed after that conversation because nothing was different, I had no support, like, nothing.
Right.
And eventually, I wanna say, like, the last 2 weeks of school, they were like, basically, like, "We've invited you to not stay here anymore." It's like, "Cool. I guess I'll go." Do you this is a weird side note, but do you
Uh-huh.
it was winter time, of course, and
Okay.
do you remember that I wore flip-flops every single day of the school of the year? Like,
Mhm.
when it was icy and snowy out, I'm in my fucking flip-flops, like,
I was in a skirt and everyone was like, "Mm-mm."
I remember that, Claire.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I got in trouble for dress code so many times. I remember
I
you getting in trouble for dress code too, with
I was just gonna
flip-flops.
say yes, and I remember wait, do you remember this? It was, like, 2 weeks into school, maybe 3 weeks into school, and you cut my hair in my dorm room. Do you remember that? And it was like I'm like, "I don't give a fuck, whatever," and I started wearing bracelets with, like, spikes on them and
Oh, I do
band
remember
shirts
that.
that I never listened to, and I wore these, like, red corduroy pants, like, every fucking day.
I cut your hair. Why did you let me do
I don't know. I was like, "Whatever, it's the college experience." Okay, and I have to say, because I heard this on your last week's podcast, the band that we went traveled and followed
Remedy,
all
that
over
was your
Remedy.
band.
Yes, Remedy. I loved Remedy.
I
And do
know.
you remember that I made shirts for everybody?
Yep. Yep.
REMEDY. For everybody wore one letter.
Yep.
I fucking loved
I
Remedy.
know.
Like,
I know, because that's what I remember. I was like, "That was why we went there." Like,
yes, yes.
that was a big deal,
We are
and
here,
it was
Remedy.
they were very good, but yeah, that was fun. Weird, so weird. I can't believe I cut your hair. Oh my god.
I can't believe I let you cut my hair.
I have n the fact that I don't have a fucking memory of that. I memories of you that pop into my head is for sure the Remedy thing. Another one is I do remember you crying in your bedroom.
Yeah.
That
Quite
sucks.
the foreshadowing.
But I think that it was like I feel like I might have helped you pack or something or helped you.
I don't remember.
I know,
I've
I'm sure
honestly,
that
like, blocked out so much of that experience
I'm sure you
because
did.
yeah,
Who
because
did
I'll tell
somebody
you
come
this,
pick you up? Do you remember?
I drove home.
Okay.
I had this shitty red LeBaron convertible, and
Oh my god, I thought it
yeah,
was so cool. I was so jealous.
I hated it.
You loved it. You loved it.
Are you kidding me? I, like, hate I might have played like I did, but I hated it. I
Oh,
thought it was a shitty car.
oh my god, I remember every
I was,
time
like, embarrassed.
I ever saw one after that, I would always be like, "Oh,"
That's so funny.
because I remember
Oh,
or maybe I just have the, like, feeling or memory of being like, "Oh my god, she's so fucking cool because she has that."
oh my god, Claire, I don't think anyone in my entire life has that. Oh my god, she's so fucking cool.
What?
Yeah, I
Oh,
swear to God. I mean, today I'm, like, totally cool with myself. Like, I'm very confident and, like, feel good about myself 100% and have, a host of people that love me and support me, whatever. But that was None of that was true back then. None
Same,
of that was true.
same. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow, we were in such similar spots, but had no fucking clue.
No
And
idea.
wow. And it sucks so bad that like you are having like literal outward panic attacks and
Yeah.
just being fully ignored.
Clear. Here's the thing. I don't even remember them doing so much to support me as saying a fucking prayer.
Right. I'm sure.
I don't even remember that.
And making you
And
go
I
to
was
Bible studies and
so,
making you go to whatever. What?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I was so damaged in so many ways by my experience there, but mostly like I had grown up with this idea of God, okay? And went to this school thinking I'm going to get more of that and somehow it's going to help me. And it did the opposite. And I left that school absolutely hating Christians and being very questionable about Jesus, like very questionable. Because I'm like, this is a school that's called Grace University, and they offered none, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, if this is what Christian is, I want nothing to do with it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want anything to do with this shit. And it wasn't until like several years later that I started to become open to the idea of a God again.
And how like, I guess I wanna just ask for because I'm conglomerating that in my head, and I realized that because of being who I am and talking to dead people and doing tarot and all of that, I 100% didn't even think it was an option to think about this ever again.
Yeah, yeah,
So now that I am and I'm confident in my beliefs and understandings and whatever, and I love hearing because I'm learning, but
yeah.
I want to hear like, how did that come about? Like, what? Well, because I remember after Grace, it was like about 2 years after Grace, and somebody asked me like a God question, and I fully like the stubbornness in me, just like in you, I was like, "Okay, well, I just believe in love. That's it. I don't need to say anything about God. That's it." You know? And I
Yeah,
have said that for fucking ever. But
yeah.
in reality, it's not a bad thing to say, because in all religions, that is the thing that we need to be focusing on. Um, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I very much was like, I never like denounced God, but I was like, I still believed like God was real, but I'm like, I just want nothing to do with you. Like, I want nothing to do with you, with your people. Like, it's all fucked. I don't want any part of it.
Hmm. So you didn't feel betrayed by him.
No,
You felt betrayed by the people.
the people. Yeah, totally.
This is something that I guess uh I am hmm I am seeing and wondering and whatever that people are they just turn their backs on God completely because of the people, you know?
Hmm.
Uh So I don't know. That's something that I guess I wanted to just kind of say that I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that have done that, and that's fucking sucks. And I'm sure we're gonna hear a lot of stories while we're going through this grace
Yeah.
shit that's the
Here's,
case.
yeah, yeah. Here's the thing that I have come to believe now is like, and I have kind of a strange story about this, but Jesus is for everybody. Like, Jesus came for everybody. Like,
Mhm.
this is my belief. Okay. I recently, this is so fucking crazy. It's a quick story. I recently crossed paths with this dude that is in a fucking cult, okay? And
Oh.
I didn't realize this until we'd been talking like for probably a week or two. And he was telling me like one night he called me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just laying in the bathroom in the bathtub having a drink." And he was like, "You what?" Like, which part? I don't understand what you're asking. And "You're," he's like, "You're drinking?" I'm like, yeah, I'm having a drink in the bathtub."
Oh.
He's like, "I thought you said you loved Jesus." I was like, I do. And he's like, do you think Jesus would approve of that? He's like, do you think Jesus would go to the bars and hang out with, this is direct quote, hang out with the fornicators and the people using bad language? I was
Yeah,
like,
I do think he would. Yep, that's exactly
do
where
you
he would
remember
go.
who Jesus hung out with when he was on earth?
The
I'm like,
prostitute.
do you remember who he hung out with on earth? I was like, fuck yes, he would be there. And I guarantee you he would have a drink with them.
Yep.
He's like, this is fucking blasphemy. He's like, you need to repent right now. I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'm like, I gotta go, bro. This is not my vibe at all. So that
Wow.
was crazy. But anyways, I just have come to believe because I have been so broken and just like traumatized by a million things since leaving Grace, like that, like Jesus just loves the shit out of me, you know? And like I love Jesus so much, but I don't like to identify as Christian. I still don't like to identify as Christian.
I think that that's really cool that you're saying that. And I never have I guess I want to say like my brain wants to use the word spectrum and I don't know why, but I've never thought about it as identifying as a Christian. Like as if you were to identify as gay or identify as whatever. I've never thought of it about it like that. Um hmm. But that is exactly just as and this is all thoughts that I know that a lot of people have had or whatever, but I love that you just shared that. One thing that just brought up into my head is there was like a day where we had to go like out into the world and evangelize to people. Do you remember that at Grace?
I am pretty sure that I was at work that day
Oh, lucky you.
and they did
Well,
not like that I had a job.
same.
They did not like that I had a job.
Same. Same. I'm gonna go over all of that, but pause because I want to tell this story first. Um, I asked to go downtown because there's people downtown.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's go downtown. Let's talk to the homeless people and stuff. And they're like, no. I was like,
Are you fucking kidding me?
nope, this is 100% serious. That's, I think, why you went to the zoo.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's why you went to the zoo. Because why else would we go to the zoo? Why else would because we were told to go to like the zoo, the malls in West Omaha, um, like West Omaha thing. Like there were certain neighborhoods or whatever, but we couldn't go downtown. And I decided to throw a fit, and I sat outside, and I don't know who was with me. I probably recruited somebody with me, and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this then. This is what Jesus did. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
much about God, but you're doing it wrong.
yeah, for sure. 100%, 100%.
Ugh. So that was one of my first like I was just slapped in the face so many times with because was that in Welcome Week?
I don't know, but I don't remember doing that. I don't
Okay,
really,
so
to be
then
honest,
maybe
like, I
yeah.
don't really believe in that.
I agree. I 100% agree. But we don't need to go into that. But so yeah, yeah, the people is the thing, because there's so many things, like, I was at a giant, huge mega church and literally pointed at in the middle of a service and told to leave because of how I looked. Like, I have had so many weird things happen to me that, I should have
Yeah,
came out of that hating God.
yeah,
But I knew there was too many things that were going on. Like I am different and there's too much happening that I have to just trust. And I mean, I couldn't basically you can't if you are awake in life, if you are aware, let's just say
mhm,
that,
mhm.
and you don't think there's a higher power, you're delusional.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree. I feel like those are, like, the main things that stick out in my brain of just, like, I mean, I left Grace in way worse shape than I was
So what
when I got
happened right when you got out of Grace? What did you do?
Okay, so I came home and moved back in with my parents
Okay.
and enrolled in SCC.
Oh.
And um was drinking a lot and like dropped out of school and then would get a job and then would quit the job and go back to school and drop out of school. It just, that was like my
Yeah.
pattern
Mhm.
until I was 21. And I was drinking very heavily, and it was certainly like problem drinking. And I had a friend, like the only friend in the world that I had gotten sober. I feel like I'm gonna talk about this, whatever, in AA. It's supposed to be anonymous, but I'm not in it anymore, so whatever. This is like totally breaking traditions, but I don't give a fuck.
I
She
don't
had gotten
understand rules. Like, let's just be real. You have an Aquarius moon too, and rules sometimes are fucking stupid. Like,
I've never been a rule follower. Never. It's gotten
same,
me in so much
same,
trouble.
same.
um, but so she had gotten sober in AA, and she was like, you should come try this out. Okay. So I went, and it was like all of a sudden I had like a host of friends. I had people that wanted to help me. I had people that cared about me. And it's like I had shit to do every night. I went to a meeting every single night for like 3 years. Okay. Every single night. Sometimes I would go to 2 meetings in a day. Okay. Because I was riddled with anxiety. I
Yeah.
had like severe mental illness. I was using alcohol to treat that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Opioid
now
light.
it's like, yeah, I will say this forever till the end of time. AA saved my life. But
Mhm.
I've come to find out it's not because I was an alcoholic. So I was sober 3.5 years, drank for 3 days, and then I was sober 13 and a half years before I drank again. And now I've been drinking since July and like using other substances occasionally, like getting high, and it's not a problem. Like, it's
Because you
not a problem at
figured
all.
out how to cope.
Yeah, well, I'm not an alcoholic. Like my ex-boyfriend, I was with him when I first drank and like got high. And he was like, I want to say just as a disclaimer, like it's Delta 8, which is totally fucking legal. But anyways,
Yeah. I
just in
call it
case
diet
someone
weed.
finds this shit. You what?
I call it diet weed.
Diet weed, yeah. I do like it, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was with my ex-boyfriend and got high for the first time, and that was like, imagine going almost 20 years without getting high, and then getting high. It's like the
Wait.
fucking best.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Like the fucking best. Okay, so anyways, and then it was probably a month later until I had a drink because I was so nervous, you know? And so I had a drink
Wow.
and I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm good. And honestly, like the other night, I had the worst night at work and I'm like, I'm gonna go home and get fucking lit. And I drank like half of a high noon and I was like, God, I have heartburn. That's over. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like not a big drinker. I just like don't love it. I mean, give me a margarita and I'll be like happy as a clam. But the rest of it is kind of like, nah, whatever. Like it's just, and my friends that are so sober, like most of them won't touch me with like a 10-foot pole. They're like, think they're gonna like catch it or something. I don't know. So I have a couple really close friends that are still really close friends, one in particular that's still sober. Shout out to Elisa, my girl. Um, yeah, I fucking love her. So anyways, um, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but eventually I got okay. I mean, a
So,
lot more transpired in there, but
yeah, I guess I want to ask when did you start your mental health journey for yourself, I guess.
okay, so it was after I got sober. So
Okay.
let's see, I think I was like 2 years sober and I was like, I'm not okay. Like I'm not okay. I like have so much energy that I feel like like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like I'm moving so fast, so fast, so fast. And like laughing uncontrollably all the time. Like I
Mhm.
can't
You got a
handle, like I
panic.
can't control energy. Yeah. I had no idea. And then I like swing to like I want to kill myself and like I'm
Mm.
ready to do it, you know? And finally somebody in AA was like, I think you should like get some mental health help. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and she's like, oh yeah, you're certainly bipolar. Like let's get some meds on board.
Wow.
And I've been taking meds ever since. Granted, like my mental health journey has been very trying and difficult and like a slow process. Like most
Yeah.
recently, like I was in the psych ward in November for about a week and then was in partial care for 3 weeks after that. And I honestly feel like right now I'm in the best place I've ever been with my mental health, just like from establishing new routines and like doing
Yep.
different things differently. I feel so much better. But
Ah,
it's a journey. It's a
oh
fucking
God.
journey.
It really is.
Yeah, I've
And
been in psych ward multiple times, but that was just the most recent visit. Yeah, so I eventually I after I had been sober a couple years, I like really buckled down and I went and got my bachelor's degree in human relations and then graduated in May and went straight into graduate school in August and got my master's degree in counseling. Um, and worked as a therapist for about 6 years and then lost my license because I slept with a client. And I deserve to have my license be revoked. I deserve that, you know? And I take full responsibility for my actions. Like this, I was extremely fucking manic when it happened and just like not okay at all. And I recently it's been 2.5 years since my license was revoked. And I recently had um, the opportunity to apply for reinstatement. So I should find out within like the next 3 months if I am going to get it back or not.
yay, that's
Yeah.
exciting. How many years since you took your mental health journey to when you started school for that?
Well, I feel like my mental health journey is like ongoing.
Well, oh yeah, but I wanted
You
to
know,
say when you started it,
when I started like myself,
your mental health journey. Yeah. Mhm.
how far into what was I?
When did you start school for
Okay,
therapy?
so I started therapy and medication in like 2007 and I started my bachelor's degree the same year.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh, I love the Scorpio-ness of that, where you're like, okay, this is me. I got to figure out everything about it. I'm gonna learn how to do it and teach it and do all that. Like,
Well,
yeah.
that's so me.
Same with me. That's why I went to Grace. I knew nothing about God, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go find out." Weird question, and I know that this was whatever. Do you have like a wrist? Do you have wrist pain?
No,
Your right wrist. There was never anything.
I have a tattoo on it.
What is it?
It says you won't be able to see it. It says Pomo. It's a Tibetan word. It means one who cultivates bravery. And I got it after I had this like really. I've had 6 different sexual assaults, and this was after. I'm sorry, 7. This was after the 6th one, and it was like unbelievably violent and like traumatized the fuck out of me. Like I had such severe PTSD. I was like hallucinating. I mean, it was so
Oh
bad,
my
and
God.
I wanted to cut really, really bad. And I was reading this book by Pema Chodron who I love. If you don't know her, you should check her out. She's amazing. She's a Buddhist nun. And I fucking love her. And I wanted to cut really bad. And I was reading her book and I found this word that I had never heard of before. And I'm like, I'm going to go get a tattoo, like to feel that physical pain, you know?
Yep.
And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Wow. So does that is that something that you look at all the time that like helps you through like a difficult time, or is it a coat of armor or something? Like what is that to you
Um,
right now?
I would say it's just like, honestly, I don't think about it that often,
Okay.
but I would say it's like when I do see it or when someone asks me about it, it's like, yeah, I'm like really fucking brave. Like something happened recently that I was like, I am like way more brave than I even thought. Like,
Fuck yes. Good.
yeah, yeah.
Do you ever I know we're running out of time really quick and this is random,
You're good.
but
You're good.
when instead of picking a New Year's resolution, I always pick a word of the year. Uh
I do that.
okay, is your word brave right now? What's going on with this word?
No,
Okay.
my word this year is sanctification.
Ooh, oh my God, tell me why. Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. I have that. I just created this new playlist on my Spotify, which I'm like praying my ex boyfriend doesn't shut me off on our Spotify account. Like, please God, don't do that. But anyways, I created this playlist that's like Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera,
Ooh,
and let me tell you, it is vibes. Like it
good.
takes you back. I fucking love it. But anyways, Sanctification is just like, it means like to be made holy. And I have been through, okay, 4 treatments and 3 psych ward visits. Okay. And like just have had like crazy behavior and
Right.
lots of problems. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to engage in that anymore. Like I want a peaceful, calm, serene life and I want to like move closer to Jesus. Like and further away from like anxiety and fear and selfishness, self-centeredness, all this stuff, you know? So that's been
Ugh.
like my word of the year.
And you said it means to be made
Be
holy.
made holy.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Um, that's really cool. So mine is joy, and
Oh, I love that.
I based it off of a book. I was reading a Brene Brown book. It was on Spotify. Did you know there's books on Spotify?
I
Okay.
did not. Did I tell you a
Yeah.
funny story about Brene Brown?
Mhm.
I was at this treatment center in I think 2020. And I was so fucking defiant at this treatment center. Oh Lord. And they were teaching, it was called Shame Resilience, this
Okay.
class that they were teaching. And I would skip it every time. I'm like, I don't have any shame. I'm not shame. I don't feel shame about shit. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, you don't know me. And they finally made me go into. They're like, just try it. Just give it a try if you don't like it. And they were talking about. It was probably 10 minutes in, and they're like, Brene Brown, Brene Brown, Brene Brown. And I stood up and I'm like, Brene Brown can suck a bag of dicks, and I left. And here's the thing: I have come to love Brene Brown.
Right. No, I fully 100% was in that vibe, and I
Yeah,
just this was my first book ever that because it was on Spotify and it was free. So I was like, well,
yeah,
let's see what this is about, you know? So that's the Aquarius in us. We're like, fuck all of this. I'm not following the fucking crowd. You're all sheeple. Fuck out. You know, like,
yeah. That's totally me.
oh, I'm
Totally
the
me.
same.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I was this book, and she was talking about how in order to feel joy, we have to be fully present. And in order to be fully present, we can't have anxiety. We can't have worry. We can't be depressed about the past. We have to be present, and we have to be trusting in this moment that another shoe's not going to drop, that whatever. And we can like take this chunk of time and like find that joy in it. So,
Which book is
oh, um, let's see here. Audiobooks.
Speaking of books, this is just like a cool little tidbit that I'm like insanely proud of. So I'm going to tell you. I just wrote a book.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah, I'll have like a physical copy of my book in my hands within like 4 to 5 months. It's being published right now.
What is it about? What is like, yeah.
It's a memoir. It's a memoir.
Oh my God, I'm so fucking excited. Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm so happy. Oh, congratulate. I don't even know words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited about it.
Wow. So did you, it's because you have a fucking Virgo. You wrote it?
Hmm.
Yeah. See, I have no fucking desire to do that.
People say it all the time, like to people, or they say themselves, like, you should write a book. You should write a book. I should write a book. I'm like, then fucking write it.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
guess what though? You didn't, and I did.
Bitch. Yeah.
I'm like, go ahead, write it. I'm
Yeah.
very much like, don't just sit and talk about something, like make it happen.
Yes. Uh, I don't know what the name of this book is, but I wanted to tell you that that part of you is for sure the Virgo, like you fully,
Why?
because Virgo energy is so the words are everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like
true.
you can take a word and you can like blow it out of proportion or whatever. Like, so it's very hard. I have absolutely not a single thing in Virgo in my chart. And I have Pisces in my chart, which is the opposite. And which is so different and flowy and gray. And I will sit there and say words that I don't even think I know what they mean. Like I am literally I'm the opposite
I
of
love
you, you
that.
know?
I love that.
Yeah. So that's why when it comes to writing a book, I'm like, I need that Virgo energy. Like if I can just shit it out, then they can make it something, you know. But
Mhm.
it's because you're ruled by Mercury. Um yeah, this you guys you have a full moon this week. This is a really big week for Virgos.
Really? What does that
Yep.
mean?
So on Friday, Saturday, we have a full moon in Virgo. And it's a big deal because Pisces right now, we're in Pisces season, and Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is well, this is a perfect thing. Saturn is like Grace University. We are getting fully schooled and taught and forced in the Pisces realm, which is the all, spirituality, everything, the blurry lines and all. So for you being a Virgo, and you also have Mercury in Virgo, and it's retrograde, by the way, if you didn't know that.
I did
Um,
not know that.
yeah, so when Mercury's retrograde, you're better. You're much easier, like your thoughts will be better.
Interesting.
Yeah. The Virgo full moon is just going to be lighting up all of your Virgo stuff. And that could be money because that's in your 10th house, or it could be friends, which is in your 11th house, or networking and something like
Oh,
that.
cool.
Well, that makes sense of this.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
totally.
but yeah, that's let me see if there's anything else that's really big. Oh, you have the same placement as me. We have Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's also the planet of good luck. So we have it in Capricorn, which is the shittiest fucking placement to have because it's like,
Really?
with hard work, you'll get good luck. And it's like,
Oh
God
god.
damn it, you know? Other people get like fucking Jupiter and Gemini, and it's like they fucking open their mouth and they get good luck. It's, you know? So that that has been finally set free for you and me. It has been 15 years where that has not been an option. And
Oh, cool.
now we can tap into good luck. Our hard work
Yes.
is finally paying off. Yay, your book. Yeah.
That's why I have my book. Yay!
Yeah. Um so the other thing, the big thing is that Pluto moved into Aquarius. So that's right up against your moon right now. So Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth, Scorpio, you're very used to this. So this energy is very comfortable, but now it's going to go a little bit more deeper into your emotions, and it's going to get into that fourth house, which is Cancer energy, which is mom. So either you being a mom, your mom, like just mother.
Yeah, this is so funny. Okay, I literally just started working with a new therapist 2 weeks last week was my first time with her, and I saw her yesterday. And I specifically went in there and I was like, most of the time when I go to therapy, I'm like, I have this whole
Yep.
shit show going on that I need assistance with. But I literally went into her specifically and I said, I have two things that I'm here for. One is because I want to like release myself from the trauma that was been caused by my mom. And two, like, I need to process this shit with my ex. Like, and we haven't really talked about my ex at all.
I know, but I'm curious because I wonder if that's even related. Like,
She's younger than me. Love of my life.
I saw all the pictures. You
Do you know
two
why we broke up?
together. Mm-mm.
Religious differences.
Fuck! Are you kidding me?
He's like extreme atheist and I am not. And he was like, we were together about 6 months and he's like, I just don't see this working out long term. Like he was never mean to me or made fun of me or nothing
Yeah,
of
he
that
looked like
sort.
such a sweetheart. Yeah.
Just an ultimate sweetheart, literally like the love of my life. He's with some other chick right now. Like
Oh my
two
God.
weeks after we got into a relationship,
Oh,
or two
really?
weeks after we broke up, he got into a committed relationship with some chick. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow. I don't think so, man. Like you have your future, just to like look at this, is going to be so focused on communication in your relationships and being able to be held with your wounds fully open in the like
Interesting.
because that's your like I have Chiron and Gemini, you have Chiron and Gemini, that's our wounds. And your north node, which is your future, is in Gemini. And that's all in your like relationship house plus transformation. Like you're gonna constantly be changing and you need someone to hold that and
Oh, I totally do.
commute like be on that same communication. Yeah.
He was
Oh,
amazing at that, amazing at that.
he was.
I
Well,
wish you were gonna say, "Oh, there's love in the future."
oh, I mean, there very well can be.
Yeah.
I can say I could Libra is broken right now and your Venus is in Libra. So after January, this next January 2025, then I know, but it's because Libra right now is in the South Node. So your Venus is in Libra. The South Node is your past. Right now, you are like processing all of your wound, hurts, past relationships, whatever. So you can move into the Aries energy, which is I can be independently dependent on myself, but have an accessory human.
Yeah, yeah. That's next year?
After January, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
I know, this has been amazing, like, I've loved chatting with you.
I
Thank you
was
so much for asking me to be on the podcast,
Thank
like, this has
you.
seriously been so cool.
Yeah. I'm so excited to like continue like hearing about your journey and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So,
same. There's so much more I'd love to hear about you too, for cool.
but okay,
Yay.
bye.